Hey guys, it's Allison. So, biology is a field you can do a lot with, but it's also a field you can do a lot with. So, there are really important things to consider before you decide to major in biology, or if you are currently a biology major and second guessing that, there are some things that you should think about in terms of your career. Now, I'm going to start by talking about when you're in high school and you're deciding on your major. So, it's really important when you're first thinking about majors and career paths that you consider, do you want to go to med school? Like, is there something you're really set on doing? A lot of biology majors want to do med school or dental school or become a physician's assistant or go to graduate school and get their PhD. Like, there are a lot of specific fields that if you want to go through with that, you should definitely have in mind beforehand, especially with med school kind of things. You definitely need to know going into school that that's what you want to do. What's good about that is you can, if you're unsure, you can go in pre-med and then change your mind and then just become a biology major or just become a different major. But definitely consider if those are things that you want to do to make sure you talk to them with a counselor or an advisor or somebody who knows a little bit more about that kind of process. Make sure you do your research about that kind of thing. Now, I'm going to talk about how I decided to become a biology major. So, it's kind of a good idea to be in high school thinking about the subjects that you really enjoy about school. So I liked science and I liked English. And when I was a kid, I wanted to be a vet, so I was always really interested in life sciences and that kind of thing. So I took classes and I decided what I liked and what I didn't like. I took biology for the first time in 9th grade and it was kind of okay. I think it might have just been my mood towards it at the time. It was okay. I didn't like it. I didn't dislike it. And then my junior year of high school, I took AP Psychology, which I did really like. I thought it was really interesting, and I thought maybe I wanted to be a psychology major. So I decided to take AP Biology for 12th grade because I wanted to learn more about the neurotransmitters and enzymes and stuff that was kind of involved with psychology. So I ended up taking AP Biology, and I liked all of it. I liked ecosystems, I liked evolution, genetics. I thought everything was really interesting. And I was also taking anatomy at the same time. So I thought that stuff really interested me. And I knew that since I learned about all the different things you can do within biology, I knew that I wanted to do something. And I would kind of be fine doing anything in that field. Whereas if I was some other major, I felt like if I didn't end up getting the exact job I wanted, I might be unhappy. So that's how I decided on biology. It was because I knew I liked the most about the field in general. So I would say if you're thinking about a biology major, but you would only be comfortable in one sort of field, or you only want to be a doctor, maybe consider if you have other options, just because if you get a biology major in college and you're set on being a doctor, but you don't get into med school, you don't want to be stuck with that degree because you can't really do much with an undergraduate biology degree. I mean, there are some things you can do, but a lot of research jobs at least require a master's or a PhD. If you want to be a teacher, you should get another degree in addition. If you want to work in pharmaceuticals, maybe also having a business degree of some sort would be helpful. There are just really a lot of jobs that you can't do with just biology. That's what's really great about it, is that if you have different skills, you can use those different skills. Like, if you really like marketing too, you can do pharmaceutical sales, or if you really like talking to people, you can be a genetic counselor or a doctor, and there's a lot of different things that you can look into. Think, I like science, but I also like this other skill. And that's how you sort of know that biology is the right field if you also like something else. Because if you just like science, sure, you can get a PhD in doing biological research, but you need to have a PhD, so you need to make sure you have that in your plan, because most of the time you do need further training in order to just do research. So that's how you decide going into college if you want to be a biology major. Now you also need to think about applying to schools. So when I was applying, I knew I liked biology, and when I was looking into other careers, I was really interested in infectious disease research, and also pharmaceuticals. So I remember I ended up being between going to one school and doing pharmacy, pre-pharmacy, like a 5-year program where you could become a pharmacist in 5 years, which is super awesome. Highly recommend if you're interested in that. And my other option was going to do infectious disease research. So I ended up applying to Penn State, and I was interested in their infectious disease program, which is in their College of Agriculture. And I think I decided, since I wasn't super sure about the infectious disease, that I would just apply as biology, which is in their College of Science. So I applied as a biology major to the College of Science, and I got in, and I accepted their offer. So now I'm in school, and I'm a biology major. So my first year looked like an intro biology course, like a Bio 101. I also had to take 2 semesters of calculus, and then 2 semesters of intro chemistry with 2 semesters of intro chemistry lab. Bio also had a lab too. And then all the standard like intro English, electives, gen eds, all that kind of thing. And then my second year, and also some of my first year, was 200 level biology classes, and I had to take one about like physiology, one about ecology, and one about molecular cell biology. And now I'm going into my junior year, and I can take 400 level biology classes. But also for my second year, I had to take organic chemistry, 2 semesters of that, a semester of statistics, 2 semesters of physics, and I think that's pretty much it, and labs for everything. And that was pretty much what was required for all biology majors. Now, the way my school worked is that there were also 6 options within biology, which are genetics, ecology, vertebrate physiology, neuroscience, and general, which is the one I am, and something else which escapes me at this moment. But there were lots of options, and so the thing with the options is you don't really need to do them, but it's good if you want to work towards a certain goal. So when you have your career in mind, maybe you want to go to med school, you want to go to PA school, anything like that. PA, by the way, is physician's assistant. So whatever goal you have in mind, grad school, anything like that, make sure you're looking into the schools you want to go to and look at their recommended requirements for classes that you take before you apply, and then select a major or a track that fits that. So the major or track that has the most classes that you should be taking for your career goal, for your grad school, or what have you, go with that. I was lucky that I knew I didn't want to go to med school, so I knew which track I had to be on. I was just a general because I didn't really have any specific requirements for grad school. I specifically want to go to grad school for genetic counseling, so I'm looking into what grad schools recommend for that, which is not as limited as, say, if I wanted to go to medical school. So when you're thinking about what classes to take in college as a biology major, make sure you're thinking about what you want to do after school. Now, at this point in my long talk, I'm sure you're wondering if you have to go to graduate school or medical school with a biology degree. Honestly, I don't know. From what I've heard, it seems like most of the jobs, if you want to be strictly a biologist, you're going to need a graduate degree, but you can do stuff that is science related without it being super biology and without having a graduate degree. Like, I know of some people who were biology majors but don't really work in biology now, but don't have a graduate degree or anything. So if you definitely want to work in biology, consider a graduate degree. So now we've talked about deciding to become a biology major before college, deciding what to do while in college and what kind of classes you need to take. Now I'm just going to talk about the overall college experience of being a biology major. Now, I would say that a lot of people don't really anticipate the other classes you have to take as a biology major. Like, you may like biology and be good at biology, but if you're not good at physics, or you can't do chemistry, or you don't know anything about calculus and you don't think you can pass, you might struggle, because there have been some people that I've met along the way that just couldn't pass calc or just couldn't get through chem. And if you can't do that, then unfortunately maybe you should pick a major that doesn't require that, because there are some majors that are kind of biology related that aren't that hard science, that require those other more physical sciences. So you need to keep that in mind, especially if you care about your GPA. If you don't think you can pass physics and OChem and stuff like that and maintain a good GPA, then it might be kind of hard to get into medical school. So keep that in mind. All those other classes that you have to take. Calculus is a biggie. Make sure you have seen those things before you get to college. Like, if in high school you can take a calculus course, do that. If you can take AP chemistry or something, do that. That'll probably help you out in the long run. Also, I thank myself, my past self, every day for having taken AP biology, because I think AP biology is a good summary of everything you're going to learn as a biologist, because it introduces you to a lot of concepts that you will learn more in depth in your college classes. So AP biology was really helpful for me. Anyways, so make sure you're able to pass all your classes with a good enough GPA to get into grad school, or else maybe consider something that doesn't include those courses. But as a biology major, you do have to take those courses. A lot of people say that if you're a biology major, you're not going to have a lot of time to do other things. I don't think that's true. You will definitely be spending a lot of time in labs. All of your science classes will include a lab where you're doing more practical work, whether it's a biology lab where you're looking at things under a microscope or doing PCR, like genetic stuff, or if it's a chemistry lab where you're quite literally mixing chemicals. Your physics lab will probably be more theoretical based, and your stats lab will be online with computer program. So you're going to be spending time in lab, and you're going to get 1 credit for a 4-hour lab, and that's just going to be the way it is. You're going to have to spend more time in class and more time doing homework than another student would and get fewer credits. That's just part of it. I've sort of accepted it at this point, and I don't really care. I'm also going into a research lab with a professor where I can work one-on-one and help them out with their research. If you go to a big research university, which I recommend if you're a biology major, going to a research university so you can work with a professor on their research and get some experience, no matter what you want to do. If you want to go to med school, if you want to go into research, any biology-related field, having research experience is really good, because at least it shows whatever you're applying to, grad school, med school, etc. I think med school actually requires that you do research. It shows them that you have some practical experience applying your biology and chemistry knowledge to a real life scenario. So you're going to have your labs in class, as well as your classes and your homeworks and your exams. You're going to have to write lab reports for your labs. Lab reports are kind of straightforward, but also painful because you have to make sure everything is done exactly the specific way. It's kind of weird going from writing 5-paragraph essays all throughout high school to going to write lab reports, which are introduction, experimental, results, discussion, conclusion. If they're longer, they include a lot of tables and graphs. You're going to have to learn how to use Excel, that kind of thing. So you're doing your labs, you're maybe doing extracurricular lab work, which is a good idea. You should also be involved in clubs and stuff and have friends and have fun in college. But I think there is still time to do other things and be involved in other things. And also in the summers, you can be doing internships, you can be doing study abroad. Check to see if your school does study abroad outside of your fall and spring semesters, because it's hard as a science major to study abroad for a full semester because your classes are so structured. So I'm personally studying abroad this summer. So I think studying abroad outside of your traditional fall-spring semesters is a really good idea, so it gives you some different experience. My study abroad is going to Croatia to look at coastal ecosystems and marine biology, that kind of thing. So that shows on whatever your resume is, it shows that you have some experience somewhere doing something related to your field, which is really awesome. So you definitely want to make sure you have diverse amount of experience, make sure you get your extracurricular lab work, you stay on top of your GPA, you're doing all sorts of things to show that you are a multi-skilled, multi-talented person, and I think you'll be fine as a biology major. Now, when it comes down to it, I think the final things to consider if you want to be a biology major are your study skills, if you think that it's something you really, really enjoy, and then also make sure that you think you can handle all the various types of classes and extracurricular activities you're going to have to do associated with your major. And if everything I talked about sounds good to you and you think biology is still really awesome and you're still interested in studying cells, genetics, ecosystems, all that kind of thing, if you think that's cool and you want to work in life sciences, pharmaceuticals, biochemistry, medicine, there's honestly so many research fields, and just Google all the biology careers that exist. There are so many biology-related careers, so you'll at least know your degree is so diverse and you can work in so many areas that will be more catered to what you're interested in. So make sure you're looking into that, and if all of this still sounds good, then I think you should be a biology major, because I honestly love it and I think it's super fun. And if you're interested in biology, life sciences, genetics, all that kind of thing, be sure to subscribe to my channel because I like to talk about it. So thanks for watching.